Everybody know me, I don't beg for nothing. But I'm begging for my daughter to come home.
The woman's family last night begging for answers. A coworker told me Lloyd had worked here for almost 2 years at the group home on Southwest 285th Terrace near Homestead.
For her not to have contacted any of us, something is wrong.
It has been a long, painful, and emotional few days for Andrea's family.
We got to step back, lean back, and hope and pray that God hear us through this, see us through this, and allow us to go through. All y'all know that we are a loving family, and that was my baby. That was my heart.
This one's for couples, 14 questions. Who apologizes the first after a fight? Who's the grumpier one in the morning? Who's more stubborn? Who's the bigger baby when sick?
Beautiful Andrea appeared to have it all: a great job, a beautiful family, and a loving relationship of 11 years. Sadly, her life ended in a senseless act of violence at the hands of the very person who was supposed to protect and cherish her. The question on everyone's mind is, how could he do this to her, to their children, and to their unborn baby? Welcome to Viral Crimes. Subscribe and hit the bell icon for more stories. This story takes us to Miami, Florida. 27-year-old Andrea Lloyd, affectionately known as Andrea, was born in Miami, Florida, on December 13, 1993. Andrea was a beautiful, smart, and loving and devoted mother to her children. She loved spending time with family and was always dependable and reliable. She was driven to succeed, and she worked extremely hard at anything she did. She received her education in the Miami-Dade County school system. Andrea spent a brief period working in retail before understanding that helping others was her true passion. She worked as a caregiver at Sunrise Community for 3 years. She was a natural at providing care and support to the residents, and her passion for helping others quickly earned her a promotion to residential program director at Sunrise Community. In this role, she was responsible for overseeing and coordinating all aspects of the community's residential programs, from daily activities to long-term care plans. Her dedication to her job was evident in the way she worked tirelessly to ensure that the residents received the best possible care and support. Andrea was in a relationship with 32-year-old Xavier Johnson. The two had been together for 11 years. They had 2 kids together, and Andrea was pregnant, expecting their 3rd child. They appeared to be the perfect couple, posting several of their loving moments online.
Oh!
Read it. I don't even know what the top says. Can you read it out loud, please?
No, I ain't gonna read it out loud.
Maybe. Maybe.
Gaseosas, algunas cosas para comer, perros calientes, palomitas de maíz, cotufas, sodas gaseosas, cervezas, no duden en venir al bar, con mucho gusto, Joshua.
They seemed to be so happy, which is why nobody could predict the tragic events that would happen next. On December 8, 2021, early on a Tuesday morning at about 12:30 a.m., while Andrea was at work at Sunrise Community, Xavier knocked on the door. She opened the door, and he attacked her. Xavier started beating Andrea and dragging her before forcing her into a white Honda Civic and fleeing the scene. Her co-worker later arrived at the home and discovered that she was missing. Surveillance footage showed the moment that Andrea was attacked and abducted, and it showed that Xavier was the one dragging her to the vehicle. A massive search was conducted, which included family and friends along with police. The family prayed that the pregnant mother of 2 could be found alive before her 28th birthday the following week.
New details now in the case of a woman police say was abducted early yesterday from the group home where she worked. A family member has confirmed to CBS 4 News that she is pregnant with her 3rd child.
This is the search for her and her abductor, whom she apparently knows, continues this midday. CBS 4's Brooke Schaefer live now in Southwest Miami-Dade with the latest. Brooke.
Keith and Maribel police tell us that woman was at work here when they say someone kidnapped her. As you mentioned, we've just learned this missing mom of two is pregnant with her third child. Her family desperate to find her. This South Miami-Dade home all quiet this afternoon. 27-year-old Andrea Lloyd was at work here when police said someone showed up, beat and kidnapped her.
Everybody know me. I don't beg for nothing. But I'm begging for my daughter to come home.
The woman's family last night begging for answers. A coworker told me Lloyd had worked here for almost 2 years at the group home on Southwest 285th Terrace near Homestead.
For her not to have contacted any of us, something is wrong.
Miami-Dade police said the 27-year-old mom of two was at work when a man showed up just after midnight yesterday. Police said he beat her up, dragged her into a car, and drove off in a white Honda Civic with the Florida tag Y650DL. The mom of two, pregnant with her third child, is still missing. Her family wants her home.
The way somebody hit her and threw her in the car, something ain't right.
A family member of Andrea's called police on Wednesday, the day after she was abducted, when they spotted Xavier in the area of Southwest 127th Avenue and 330th Street.
One of my family members followed him from home.
Yesterday, detectives swarming the woods of Southwest 328th Street in Homestead after her family tracked Johnson down in a black truck and called 911.
For whatever lucky reason there was, and like I said, it must have been the gift of God, we all got there. Held him there until the police got there.
Detectives searching the area and confirming they found human remains. Officers detained, questioned, then arrested Johnson. Authorities removed the black truck Wednesday night. It has been a long, painful, and emotional few days for Andrea's family.
Right now at noon, authorities arresting a man who they say confessed to kidnapping and killing his pregnant girlfriend. We were there as 32-year-old Xavier Johnson was walked into jail shortly after midnight. Police say Andrea Lloyd was abducted as she was working at a Southwest Miami-Dade group home.
And human remains were found sadly on Wednesday, but they have yet to be identified. Johnson now facing a judge, and Local 10's Annalise Garcia is live in Andreae with more on this one for us. Annalise.
Yeah, Janice, Christie, today Johnson did appear in front of a judge, and that judge did find probable cause, and now he's being held no bond.
Mr. Johnson, good morning.
33-year-old Xavier Johnson stood before a judge Thursday morning. The judge addressed the disturbing allegations against him.
Morning. Sir, you were arrested for 1 count of first-degree murder, 1 count of kidnapping, and 1 count of armed burglary with an assault or battery.
Johnson, arrested in connection to the disappearance of 27-year-old Andrea Lloyd, spoke in court about possibly acquiring a private attorney.
Do you have an attorney?
Yes.
Who's your
I don't have one yet, but I'm gonna get one. Go ahead.
The assets you own, the property you own, are what? Jet skis and what else?
The value of my jet skis is $16,000.
Family tells us Johnson was the boyfriend of Lloyd and father of her 2 children. Lloyd also 6 months pregnant with her third child.
We pray that she's alive.
Family had been searching on their own for their loved one since Wednesday. Lloyd was working an overnight shift as a caretaker at this South Dade group home. She answered a knock on the door, and police say a man beat her and abducted her from her job using her own car.
He was walking up and down the road saying, "I'm looking for my old lady," but wasn't nobody out there but him.
The next day, relatives spotted Andrea's boyfriend near a heavily wooded area near the Homestead Speedway. That's when they called police, and officers responded to that same field. A cadaver dog alerted to the presence of human remains. Police sources tell Local 10 the remains were found in a large metal box. Johnson, the boyfriend, who had arrived in a black pickup truck, was later arrested in connection to the crime. Our cameras rolling as he arrived to jail early Thursday morning.
He confessed to abducting and killing Andrea. He was subsequently arrested and then was taken to the Turner Guilford Night Correctional Center, where he was held without bond. Xavier did not reveal a motive for the murder, but Andrea's father said that she was going to leave him because he was cheating on her. The family held a vigil to celebrate Andrea's life.
Whoever, how many ever did this to my daughter, to suffer, to suffer, and never see the light
An emotional night for the loved ones of Andrea Lloyd, the mother who police say was abducted and killed last week. Today would have been Andrea's 28th birthday, and her family wanted to use this opportunity to celebrate her life and honor her memory.
Meanwhile, her boyfriend and the father of her children remains in jail tonight, accused of her murder.
The man accused of killing Andrea Lloyd sits in a jail cell here at TGK. He is being held on no bond. This is Andrea's family celebrated her birthday today, 1 week after her murder.
God will allow his blessings to be over us.
Prayers instead of wishes for Andrea Lloyd and her family on her 28th birthday. A sea of pink balloons released into the bright blue sky.
All y'all know that we are a loving family. And that was my baby. That was my heart.
Andrea's father's heart now forever broken, the youngest of his 12 children found in this swampy area of Homestead. Now, less than 1 week after the gruesome discovery, a celebration of life.
Her first wish would have been bringing her family together like we always do.
Andrea wants us to smile right now.
Hard to do whenever a young person's life is cut so short, but especially difficult knowing the way Andrea died. The attorney for Xavier Johnson, he released a statement to us saying that Mr. Johnson and his family have been recipients of numerous threats since he was identified as a suspect in Miss Lloyd's case, and we ask that before the public makes a rush to judgment against Mr. Johnson and presume him guilty, that it allow all the facts of the case to come to light.
This is a tragic story of domestic violence and its devastating consequences. Andrea, a loving mother and dedicated caregiver, had her life taken by the very person she thought she could trust, her partner of 11 years. This case highlights the importance of being aware of the warning signs of domestic violence and not making assumptions about the dynamics of a relationship based on appearances alone. Most people who knew Andrea and Xavier would say that they appeared to have the perfect relationship and they seemed like the perfect couple. Xavier's attack on Andrea the day of her murder may not be the first time that he was violent with her. She was possibly in a domestic violence relationship. Victims of domestic violence often hide their abuse and display a facade of a happy and perfect relationship to the outside world. They may be afraid to speak out about the abuse, ashamed, or have been manipulated into believing that their situation is their fault. It's important to remember that domestic violence can happen to anyone and that it often happens behind closed doors. Just because someone appears to be in a happy relationship, it doesn't mean that they are not experiencing abuse. What happened to Andrea was a tragedy. How could Xavier leave his 2 kids without a mother and a father, as well as take the life of the mother of his kids and his unborn child? What he did was unimaginable. My condolences to her friends and family. I am deeply sorry for your loss. Andrea didn't deserve what happened to her. May you find some way to heal and one day find peace. Thanks for watching and I will see you in the next video.